Hello there, I'm Varun. In this video, I'm going to answer the big question, how to do self-preparation for OET. So what is OET? As you all know, it's Occupational English Test, alright. So it's an international English language test that assesses the language communication skill of healthcare professionals who seek to register and practice in some English speaking countries like Australia, Ireland, New Zealand, Singapore, Dubai and the UK. In UK specifically for doctors and nurses. Now let's zoom in. The modules are quite similar as IELTS. It covers all the 4 language tests: listening, reading, writing and speaking. But it emphasizes on communication in a healthcare environment. So OET has been developed specifically for 12 healthcare professionals like dentist, optometrist, podiatrist, medicine, nurse, dietitian, pharmacist, physiotherapist, occupational therapist, radiologist, speech pathologist and veterinarian. So now we'll look into the modules. Same like IELTS, OET also has the same: reading, listening, speaking and writing, in which reading and listening are the same for all healthcare professionals and writing and speaking is profession specific. Now we'll look OET in brief. First it comes listening. So you'll be getting 40 questions and the time to complete 40 questions is 40 minutes. Here you need to listen and understand a range of recordings on health related topics from different healthcare settings. Next is reading. The time duration is 60 minutes and you need to clear 42 questions. Here you need to read and understand various texts on health related topics from different healthcare settings. Next comes writing. The time duration to write is 45 minutes and you need to write one task. Most of the cases you have to write a referral letter using information provided in the patient's case note. Last but not the least is speaking. The time duration is 20 minutes. 2 role plays to perform. So they'll start with 2 role plays. Before that you will be having a small introductory section in which you have to communicate with the patient in the real life context through a role play. So this is how all the 4 modules works. Now let's deep dive into each module. Firstly, listening. Listening has 3 parts: part A, B and C. As I told, total 42 questions and at least it will be around 40 minutes. Alright, and now we look into the part A, where you will hear 2 different consultation in each of which the healthcare professional talking to a patient. There will be 12 gaps to fill for each consultation, so altogether it makes 24 questions. Yeah. The next is part B. In this part you will hear either a healthcare professional talking to each other or talking to a patient in 6 different extracts. So altogether there will be 6 questions in part B. Now we'll look into part C. Here you will listen 2 long recordings, either an interview or a workspace presentation. There will be 6 multiple choice questions from each recording. So altogether you're gonna get 12 questions in part C. So when we mix all A, B and C, altogether it will be 42 questions. Now we'll look into some strategies which you need to follow. First one, you will hear recording only once. That's very important. You need to understand that when you're in the listening phase, you will hear the recording only once. So make sure that you have complete focus on it. Second is topic. So the topic is completely on general healthcare. Yeah, those are general healthcare topics. You need to assume that you're going to get all the topics associated with healthcare itself. And then it's time. So read the questions before each part as per the time provided. So before starting the next session, they will be giving some time. So make sure that you read and understand the questions before. Yeah. then you need to understand, you need to fill all the gaps just because there is no negative scoring. Yeah. So it's very important that you have to fill. If you don't feel that it's not 100%, still you have to go ahead and fill it. Please don't leave any blank space. Yeah. And another important thing is that don't worry if you miss any answers. What we have seen is that in the beginning, if you miss out one or two, you'll be really nervous and you don't know what to do and you get panic. Please don't do that. If you miss, it's fine. You leave, you move forward. Later you have some time, you can come back and you can fill it up. Now we'll look into reading. The updated reading subtest consists of 3 separate parts with 42 questions, and the session will take 60 minutes to complete. Same like listening, there will be part A, B and C. Now we'll look into part A. It's called expeditious task. It's just like it's a fast reading task. Yep. There will be 20 questions and the duration is 15 minutes. Test contains 4 extracts from the same topic. Matching sentence completion and short answer questions will be there in this session, part A. Yeah. Now we'll move on to part B. It's called careful reading task. Topics taken from 6 extracts. Length of the task will be 100 to 150 words. The question types are multiple choice from each extract. So altogether you will be getting 6 questions, and to cover the part B you will be given 10 minutes. Now we will look into part C. Same like B, this is also a careful reading task. Here you will be given 2 long passages on health related topics. The duration is 35 minutes. Right. So total questions from each passage is 8. So both passages together 16 questions. So altogether combined you are going to get 42 questions. Now we look into some reading strategies. First, be aware of reading subtest instructions in advance so that you understand how it's going to work. Second one, familiarize yourself with different parts of reading test. Yeah, be prepared for each question types. So if you know that this type of questions I'm going to get, it will be very easy for you to go ahead. Next is assess yourself while preparing each subtest. So you need to understand where you stand right now. That's very important. And last, revisit and revise all questions which you found difficult and practice answers in similar way. So mostly when we take the entire reading test, there will be some question or there will be some set of questions which you personally feel a bit tough. Invest more time practicing those set of questions. Yeah. Now we'll look into some reading advice to the candidates. Firstly, manage time carefully. That means when you start the test, you are a bit tense and you are in a hurry to do that. Please manage time carefully and spend more time in part C. Second, reading question carefully and look for keywords. That's very important. When we read through, we need to understand what are the keywords. This will be like helping hints for you. All right. Then consider each options and ask yourself what makes each option right or wrong. Normally, what we have seen is that when you get a question, and you look for an option and you feel that that's right. Yeah, you just don't look forward for other. But it's very important. Also look to other options. If you are not sure, move on. Just because you have time to come back. Please don't sit on one question. This will take some more time for you and you're going to waste those time. And those time, every second is precious in this task. Yeah. And very important, use 2B pencil and don't fill more than one option. We feel that A or B. I'm a bit confused, so I'll mark A and B together. It will be marked wrong. So make sure that please mark only one option. Now we'll look into the writing for OET. OET writing subtest is a test which gives more emphasis on the profession. As I said, writing and speaking, it's the same. Yeah. So here in writing, there will be more emphasis on the professional side. The duration of writing is 45 minutes. Normally, the task is to write a referral letter to a particular person. So it will be clearly mentioned. So you will be receiving a task and a stimulus material. Stimulus material is nothing but a case note or a patient note. Yeah. In the total 45 minutes, the first 5 minutes is reading time. You may study the task and the notes, but make sure that you are not writing. You shouldn't write, underline or make any notes in that 5 minutes time. Remaining 40 minutes, write your response to the task. The word limit is 180 to 200 words. For the body of the letter, you should spend a few minutes, to complete the letter, and make sure that 180 to 200 words is just for the body of the letter, not for the whole letter, just for the body. The count is 180 to 200 words. So now let's look into how OET writing is assessed. The test is assessed by several criteria, but most importantly, your letter is assessed as its ability to organize information logically and communicate it clearly. Firstly, it comes the overall task fulfillment. Second, appropriateness of language. Third, comprehension of stimulus. Fourth, linguistic features. Fifth is presentation features. These are the 5 criteria which they look upon. Now we'll look into the writing strategies. First one, you will be given 5 minutes like a preparation time. So make use of the time in the best manner, like it's like a brainstorming session for you. Second, you should read the information carefully and plan the answers which meets the need of the reader. That means you need to align in a proper manner. Yeah, and it should be in and around the word limit. Very important, the selection of relevant case note. So in the patient case note, there will be a lot of information. So you're gonna pick out which is really important. And very important is that always do proofreading. What does proofreading means? Read again. Read again your letter. When we start writing, we feel that wow, it's all perfect, it's correct. But when we read, we understand that we made some mistake, like might be grammar mistake, style or spelling and so on. So very important to follow all these strategies. Last but not the least, speaking. Candidates are required to complete 2 role plays on a typical work environment. Now we look into the overview. The time taken to complete the speaking session is 20 minutes. It's also profession specific. Now we look into how the test works. Firstly, there will be a short warm-up talk. Next, then we have 2 role plays, one after one. Before starting the role play, there will be 3 minutes like a preparation time. You can make notes if you wish. The interview is recorded and 2 different assessors in Australia then assess the recording. The role player is called interlocutor. He or she is not evaluating. They are just helping you to complete the role play. Each role play will long for 5 minutes. Now we'll look into the assessment criteria for speaking. First comes linguistic criteria, in which intelligibility, fluency, appropriateness of the language, resource of grammar and expression comes in place. Next is communication criteria, in which the first is relationship building, second understanding and incorporating the patient's perspective, third providing structure, fourth information gathering, and last is information giving. Now we'll look into the speaking tips. First one, introductory session is not at all assessed. Use this time to warm up and use to speak with the interlocutor. Very important, you need to speak in a very loud and clear manner at your natural speed. It's advised not to go really fast, not to be really slow, in the normal pace. Yeah. You're allowed to make notes and keep it with you while performing the role play. You can have it with you, alright? Then very important is that read and understand the role play card carefully. Yeah. And very important, don't follow your formula on the role play. For example, sometimes you don't need to introduce yourself, but still we feel that oh my god, I was trained in a manner, I need to introduce. It's nothing like that. And please don't be in a hurry to complete it, that you have a strategy, first this comes, then this, and so on. So please don't follow your strategy, customize it according to the scenario. And don't worry if the interlocutor stops the role play after 5 minutes. there is no penalty for not completing all the elements on the roll card. Now we'll look into the basic tips which you need to perform, which we need to do basically, right? The best way to achieve the OET is by starting the preparation at least a month before, in which you should give importance on to learn the basic grammar. You can refer books, videos, whichever is comfortable for you, but make sure that you put some emphasis on grammar part. Second, improve your reading skill. How you can improve your reading skill is you can read medical journals and letters, before starting the preparation, or when you're starting preparation, you need to read medical journals and letter just to familiarize with the medical terms and terminologies. And how you improve your listening skill, make sure that you listen to a medical lecture, podcast, videos with various accent. That's very important. You don't understand what sort of listening you're gonna get. Might be a Brit person might be talking, or an Austrian guy, an Australian guy. So make sure that you listen to various accents. Yeah. Make English a part of every day. Read, listen, talk, and you think in English. What we have seen, non-native English speakers, we think in our mother tongue and we try to translate. That's something very wrong now, which you're not supposed to do that. Very important. Yeah. You start think in English. That is very, very important. You can understand the difference. And if possible, take a break and focus. Yeah. And finally, I personally feel that everything goes with right attitude and confidence. If you feel that you can go ahead, you can clear OET in the first try, yes. If you have the right attitude, I'm sure that you can clear it off. Yeah. If you need any further assistance, anytime you can get in touch with MIAC, and we are there to help you. Thank you and good luck.